Back to the Hit Show podcast. I got Chef Darius coming here in a few minutes. I know y'all been looking at the just hilarious situation. We about to get into it. And let's get those likes up. Share this video. We're gonna wait on Chef Darius. But I know y'all know what's going on. We got a lot of good content over here at the Hit Show podcast. Also, make sure you follow Chef Darius on his page. He got a lot of good stuff on his page. He be cooking, podcasting, doing this thing on his podcast. So we're gonna wait on Chef Darius. But in the meantime, get those likes up, share. Also, we got the R. Kelly Fans of Hypocrite series going on, right? We just filmed the first episode of it, and we are looking for a few people to get on there with us. You know what I'm saying? If you want to come on there and talk about how R. Kelly fans are being hypocrites, feel free. We're gonna get into this just hilarious as soon as Chef Darius come on, but I'm gonna say my little piece for what I've been seeing before he get on here. Um, the first thing is I understand where Just Hilarious is coming from, right? You have these trans women who feel like they're equal to women. And I always said that unless you have a period to have a baby, you're not a natural woman. That's just what women are here for. Women are here to help us reproduce, and they're here to be feminine and give men a balance and be a man's help. And if you're not doing that, then if you can't do that, you're not a woman. There's no point of you trying to be one. Um, so that was her whole stance, and I understand where it comes from. Not saying, that you can't be whoever you want to be, but we have to be real with ourselves, You can't compare yourself to a real woman. A real woman her body goes through so many different changes. She has a period once a month. So we can't just say, you know, hey, tomorrow I want to be a woman. It doesn't work that way. No matter how hard you try, you'll never be the same thing you want to be, what you look up to another woman. And that was her whole stance on it. That's my stance on it. And I just feel like people of the trans community, when you don't agree with them, a lot of times they get mad and want to bully everybody. I think that's unfair because people don't have to accept your ways. There's ways of mine that you might not like that you don't have to accept, you know? And this is America. We have the right to have our freedom of speech, state our opinion without being disrespectful. And you also have the right to be who you want to be when you want to be it. So if you want to be a trans person, that's your business. I'm not going to bash anybody. I love everybody. I don't have nothing against anybody, but we do have to understand something that when somebody changes their sex and who they want to be, all of us might not accept that. And if you are a trans person watching, you have to understand people can't just, especially if they know you, they might not be as open to accepting that if they know you were born a full man or a full woman and then you change to a woman or a man. Somebody know you might not accept it. And people that don't know you might be raised a certain way where they don't believe in that, you know? So that's what Just Hilarious was saying, pretty much that stop trying to compare trans women to real women because they go, trans women don't go through periods and have babies. So, but I understand that. I understand exactly where Jess is coming from. And I think the trans community a lot of times just won't accept the fact that a lot of people don't accept who they are. So they have to understand that when they go into that transformation, most people aren't going to accept who you are. The world's just not going to accept that. A lot of people are against that. A lot of people believe in man and woman. Men and women make children together as one. They don't believe in changing sex and changing parts and changing genders and changing roles. A lot of people don't. But Just Hilarious is going to get attacked a lot online. I'm going to be honest. Because the trans community they don't like when you say no, and they don't like when you speak your opinion. They don't. But you got to think, if you're doing something that's not normal, most people are not going to accept it. And you have to accept that most people aren't going to accept it. You still be who you want to be, but you got to realize everybody's not going to fall in line if you want to change your sex or change your gender. Most people are not going to accept that. They're just not. So we still waiting on Chef Darius. I sent him the link. He'll be popping up in a minute. Here you go, right here. There you go. So I did the introduction. So since we on, I was breaking it down pretty much about how Jess Hilarious pretty much is going to get bullied and attacked because she was saying trans women are not real women. Pretty much they don't have periods, don't have babies.
Yeah.
And stop trying to compare yourself to real women because they go through different things. And the trans community has to understand that everybody's not going to accept their ways. And you can't expect people just to fall in line with what you want to do and start bullying people because they don't fall in line to your agenda, what you got going on. And I think that's the biggest thing. You can have disagreements, but the trans community does not like when we say we don't like this and that. They want to bully people into their ways, and it's not going to work.
Because they've made up their mind and they have the stance that they are women. So that in itself is y'all going against women. I hate to say it. So they shouldn't feel any shock that they getting pushback from women now. I think women are starting to finally speak up because a lot of laws are getting put on the table and passed that are putting women in compromising positions, like women that have to have children and make these decisions with they body. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So they taking that shit personal. It is what it is. They just taking it personal now, and I'm not mad at them. Know what I'm saying? Like, if somebody is gonna claim something and you feel like that's really you, and you got to go through all the trial and tribulations, you got a right to tell them like, nah, what you got going on is cool, but um, this ain't that. Like what we going through as women ain't the same thing y'all experiencing as trans women, and we don't have to make it the same. Like, why are y'all giving so much pushback to make it the same thing when it's clearly not?
Exactly. And the thing is with women, they're saying y'all don't even go through the same things we go through as real women. You don't go through periods. You know, you don't have cramps. You don't feel how I feel. So how can you say you are just like me and you don't go through the same thing? You're not as emotional as I am. You know, you don't feel the way I feel. You don't think the way I think. Even though you might want to you try your hardest, it'll never happen. You can't be me. And I don't think women are wrong for saying that. That's like men, women that trans women, women who want to be men, they they don't know how we feel. They don't think like we think. They're still
But
gonna think like women.
that's that's a good segue to this point I seen somebody make about women that are trans men. There's not a lot of pushback with them. Like, they don't really fight as hard as men trying to be trans women. And a woman was saying like that's some male shit. That's some patriarchal shit still. And it's crazy because men do that. We are we are controlling in nature. We like to control the situation. It just is what it is. It's not a bad thing to be in control.
Right.
So a man claiming to be so feminine, still taking that energy and fighting women with it is crazy because you still fighting that feminine energy with some masculine control, being um aggressive in your approach and like forcing your way on somebody who is telling you no, we don't want that. Women is telling you like no, we don't feel this way, so why are you forcing this on us?
It's a form of bullying.
You know,
That's what it is. You
it's
force
male
me away,
dominance. It's
huh?
male dominance. It's male dominance. They trying to be women and they still trying to dominate the women like men, and bully him, like you said. This shit crazy.
And see, like when we was talking about this last year, I said women love gay men. They love them. Nothing wrong with gay men, right? But I said once they really start trying to be women and taking a place, then women will care. They don't care when they're gay and trying to have sex with straight men and all that. You know, the trans women or whatever, that when they're trying to trick men, it's all he and ha ha until they come into the women lane. Now it's a problem. I was saying this last year,
Yeah.
and they in the comments saying I'm dumb. I don't know what I'm talking about. Now you see, now they coming for the women. Now it's a problem. It wasn't a problem when you got the trans, because the trans they prey on straight men to turn straight men out. But see, now it's a problem because they go into the women's territory. Now it's a problem. And I was saying that they're going to try to take over the women. Now the women care because it affects them. When it affected us, they didn't give a shit. But I tried to tell y'all liked it. These men dressing up as women. Y'all liked the men painting their nails and going out on girls' night. And if you gay, be gay. I love gay people. But I was trying to tell y'all, once they start trying to be women, it was going to be a problem. And I said this every time.
And ain't nothing wrong with what you trying to be. Like, to each his own is how I feel. Like, if
But
you want to
the,
be, because there's so many acronyms and letters. Not like it ain't even just LGBTQT. There's like more to it now. Know what I'm saying? You got a woman who's I identify as masculine, and that's it. She not gay or not. She's just a woman that identifies as masculine. And if you call her um bisexual or gay, if you say the wrong thing, she's gonna get mad at you. Know what I'm saying?
but
So there's so many
nobody,
different labels now that it's hard to even keep up. So the fuck, just be yourself and not try to fit in a lot. Why you got to make it into a label? Just be. Why do you have to be a woman or a man? Like, if you're so genderless and you feel like you have no boundaries, why do you even need a label?
but
Why
this
y'all need a
thing,
label?
they get mad at us like we supposed to know. We don't. No offense to nobody, but we don't keep up with the labels and
Right.
who. To us, men like me, men, women. That's it. With me, there's no in between. You're either a man or a woman, and you
Yeah,
can't.
that's it.
Nothing
That's
against
it.
nobody. That's just what
I'll
I believe in.
and
And
I'll acknowledge gay. Like, you could be
right,
gay.
if you gay, be gay. That's
You
fine.
gay.
But
That's fine. Yeah.
all these other labels, we don't know because we don't care to be involved and know all the different labels, and we don't know that stuff. No offense
Right.
to nobody, but you can't get mad at us because we don't keep up with it. You know, if you want to label yourself whatever, understood. But don't get mad if we don't know that, because we don't know. If you want to identify a certain way, we don't know. All I'm saying is if you're gonna be trans, men or women, and if you out here in public and you're socializing and you out here mingling, be honest with the people you're mingling and socializing with. Let them know, hey, this is who I am, this is what I do. You accept it or you don't. Don't be out here tricking people into doing things, because to me, that's the same thing as a man going to a club and he don't have enough game to pull his woman, so he puts something in her drink to make her vulnerable, and he tricked her. You shouldn't trick people. Be honest with people, because you're tricking men and women out their manhood and womanhood, and that's wrong.
Mm.
I know they're gonna be mad about it, but they'll be all right. They'll
It
be all
is what it is. It's the truth. It's like, come as you are. Know what I'm
right.
saying?
Exactly.
That's it. And people gonna appreciate you for telling the truth and being who you are. And it's been like that. People get so caught up in forcing other people to think that they're this and all that. You just be what you want to be.
Right. Be what you
Just
want to
be
be.
what you want to be. That's it. You'll be all right.
And if people have a problem with accepting you, now this is the thing, trans people. Once you identify and say, hey, this is who I am, if people have a problem with it, then that's their problem because you're living in your truth. At least you said, hey, this is who I am, this is how I live my life. We can respect that. But don't be out here tricking. Just be yourself. If that's who you want to be that, but just let people know. And that's all it is to it. Ain't no hate. That's all it is to it. You got one life to live. That's how you want to live. But let's get back to Just Hilarious, because you know what? She's gonna get bothered a lot. I kind of feel bad for Just Hilarious because anytime you go up against the LGBTQ community or the trans community, and you just say, "Hey, I'm not with that,"
Yeah.
it's gonna be a problem. It shouldn't be because it's such a form of bullying. Why can't I say, "Hey, I'm against that. I don't have nothing against you, but I don't get down like that, and I don't like that, and I go my way, you go yours." Why can't it just be that?
Yeah, I don't know if she gonna be able to, because she wasn't really popping like that in Hollywood as
She
far as
will be
getting
now.
jobs and stuff. So I don't know if she gonna ever get her breakthrough at this point. So she might as well just ride this wave, because there is enough support against that shit though for her to have some support and still do her thing. But as far as mainstream
Yeah,
Hollywood and shit like that, that's dead, because
but
those people run Hollywood.
yeah, but the
So
thing is,
can't fuck around like that, because them people run Hollywood.
her career ain't gonna get screwed up like the baby because she's a woman.
Yeah,
And, and a woman is always going to have support. A woman is always going to get full support from other women, right? So she's going to get her support.
yeah. But she ain't going like that Hollywood shit dead, because she got to be around these people and shit now. Because
Right.
all these people are in Hollywood and they're at these parties and whatnot. So they looking at you and they gonna be feeling some type of way. They ain't giving you no jobs or no shit like that, because they're the ones in control of all that shit anyway.
But she can do. She being a comedian, you don't really have to even be in Hollywood. She
No,
got
she good.
herself.
That's what
She
I'm saying.
she don't really have to even worry about Hollywood for real. Because if she's not doing no big movies, she always can do improv, the comedy clubs. She's gonna be set anyway. You know.
Tubi's popping right now. Like, these black actors really just need to just get in this Tubi lane and start doing independent movies and taking their finances to that and making that better, because these
Right.
black independent directors is doing the damn thing. I used to shit on Tubi movies because when they was first coming out, they was all drug movies and they was corny. But they getting real good now. They making horror movies. They doing all types sci-fi shit, and it's black movies. So there's a lane for these people outside of Hollywood. They just gotta support it a little bit more and not be scared to take that leap of faith with these up and coming directors and shit.
And Tubi's getting more popular. I'm noticing. The thing is, that's going to be the new Netflix.
Yeah,
So people like me and you who write scripts and stuff like that, that'd be a good lane for us. I think that'd be a good lane for anybody because, especially if you start getting entertainers that have been blackballed, like the baby, Jess Hilarious, maybe Monique. Get some of the entertainers that have been blackballed, let them go over to Tubi and watch how Tubi grows.
yeah.
Watch how Tubi becomes like the next Prime or the next Netflix. And that happens. That will happen.
Hmm.
Because ain't nothing like you said, but black director, it'll blow up, you know. It'll eventually the stocks will rise, just like any other business.
Yeah,
But she's definitely gonna get, I'm not gonna say blackballed because it's different for women. Women can speak out more than black men.
yeah,
Black men, we can't speak out like black women.
oh, yeah.
Women will get behind her and make sure she's
Because
good.
it's a woman's issue at the end of the day, so she not wrong. She allowed
Right.
to have her opinion on a woman's issue. Now, had it been a man speaking on a woman, even though the woman not really a woman, we would have got canceled for real, for real. So
Yeah, of course. It's a double standard.
unless that's what you do, because you do got these people in these doing their own things, these independent podcasters and shit who talk about this type of thing, and it's more prevalent now to kind of fight back. But at one point in time, you couldn't say shit about them,
Right.
or you would get fucking canceled.
But the thing is, it depends on how you say it too. It ain't like cause we say whatever we want. We ain't like fuck them and fuck that. We just
Right.
break down how we feel and how you should be as a person. You shouldn't be able to people like us though, we're not being disrespectful. We just saying, hey, this is what you should do and be respectful and let people know who you are. Even
Yeah.
though I don't agree with it personally, I'm not knocking you as a person if that's how you want to live. So you can't really cancel somebody. Now, if we's on here saying F this, F you, and F you, and F you, that's different. But I mean, doesn't do all that. People gonna do what they want to do. But
But
I
they
just hope,
they kind of sensitive, because just telling them they aren't what they are in their mind is enough for them to
but
get combative.
like Just Hilarious said, let's be honest, not to bash nobody or nothing, but there's something. If you change who you are physically, something's not right. A lot of times with trans people, because I've been talking to a friend I work with, her friend is trans. And I said, there's got to be something wrong mentally, like that person might have been abused or molested. And she's like, yeah, one of my good friends was molested. And people that are molested, that don't get the counseling, people that have been raped, that might be their way of expressing themselves. And they never had a chance to talk to somebody about it or go to counseling.
Mm-hmm.
And that be a lot of times from what I've been hearing, a lot of people are trans because of things that happened to them in their younger age and they didn't get counseling. So if
Yeah.
we have any trans people that are, you don't have to say your business, but if you are trans, you know any trans people, leave a comment and let us know because we digging into this whole trans situation. I ain't trying to convert none of y'all back to who you want to be. I just want to know why, what makes people interested into it. I'm just interested in knowing about it. That's
Yeah.
all. As a
Well,
podcaster,
all right. To be fair, we could discuss the biological aspect of it. So
Okay.
you do have the traumatized people or the people that just are raised in an environment that make them more masculine or more feminine, whatever the case may be, and then they choose to identify with that. And
Okay.
then you have like transgender people who are literally they born with like different sexual organs, right? Or multiple sexual organs. They might have breasts. So you do have people who have the actual biology of both, and they
Mm.
have to make that mental decision. So be fair to that group, which is a small percentage, they're born with that. I ain't gonna call it trauma, or they're born with that decision, and it's not like they can make it because they're a baby. So let's say they were more feminine or whatever, but their parents decided to make them a boy or whatever the case may be.
Mm.
And as they grow, they want to identify whatever. So to be fair to that, that happens, and you do have those people in the world who can make their case, but I don't really see a lot of those type of people saying like I am a woman and I'm a go through all the things women go through and all this other, like they're not making that case. They saying I am what I am and they just living their life. It's
Mm.
really these people that are going through it later on in life. And it's like when you're trying to prove yourself, you know what I'm saying? You're gonna fight tooth and nail when you're trying to prove yourself because you really insecure deep down. Because you know you're not getting the monthly period or you really can't have a baby, and no disrespect to anybody who can't have babies, but it's just a process. It's a process that a natural woman goes through. So a natural woman always is going to be able to make that argument against any unnatural woman, and even one that wasn't um traumatized or conditioned or just felt like they needed to be later on in life. Even those can't really walk in the same shoes of being in a natural woman or a woman that was born, or a man or a woman. Like that, there's still different things. So I feel like just be who you are, as
Exactly.
opposed to just trying to force yourself in these boxes where you really don't check all the boxes.
Well, this is my thing. Even if they try to force themselves into another box, don't try to make everybody accept it. If you want to go and feel like you're a woman, fine.
That too,
That
yeah,
don't
that's
mean
what I'm saying.
to agree with it. I mean,
Yeah,
it just even if I don't agree with it, still live your life. You might not agree with me being straight, but that ain't gonna change my mind. I'm still gonna do what I need to do.
right.
And I think that's the problem. They want everybody to say, accept me. And the thing is, we don't have to.
Yeah,
And I think they look at that as a problem, but it shouldn't be a problem.
and it's deeper than just the women though, because it's like they want us to accept it to the point they got to do petty shit like going to the libraries with the kids and teach this shit to our kid. Like, come on now, y'all taking it too fucking far. Like, you don't gotta take it that far.
But the problem, I don't blame them for that. I blame the schools because why is the schools allowing adult behavior to be taught in school? Why are they letting trans people come in and teach kids how to be trans without the adults' permission. If nothing against nobody, but if one of my son's teachers said, "Hey, we had a trans person dancing in front of your son," there wouldn't be no more school tomorrow.
Well, not even a trans thing. It was more so drag queen, which
What
is
drag,
like
whatever,
whatever. No,
in
I'm
front of
saying
a
like
child. I wouldn't even allow you to have half naked women coming in front
exactly. That's
of
my point. I don't want to see
any
no
sex with
women,
kids.
no natural women dressing all revealing and shit in front of
Yeah,
my kids, distracting their ass. You supposed to be reading them a book. Why you all dolled the
right.
fuck up and trying to have your titties all out and shit?
They don't
Like,
need to have any sex in school. It's enough sex when the kids get on Facebook, they get on Instagram, they get on TikTok. They see enough sex. Why are you pushing it in their face?
yeah.
So if we're gonna have trans people go in there, if I want to, I can go to my son's class and bring some strippers there during lunch, and it shouldn't be a problem.
Yeah. And there's no problem with trans people being there. The thing is making a spectacle of them. Like, why are you making a spectacle of them? They're
Exactly.
just regular fucking people. If a trans person get the fucking job to teach at the school, it is what it is. They were probably qualified or whatever the case may be. Just teach regular shit. Why y'all gotta come in with this drag show shit
Yeah.
and do all this extra shit? Like that shit not necessary.
I don't think they shouldn't be able to work and do this. That's not a problem. The problem is pushing your ways on people. That's the problem. Don't push your ways. We all have our own personal ways, but you don't do that to the kids. Push your personal ways on them. You're supposed to teach them the criteria they're supposed to learn, and that's it. And leave that extra stuff. Do that somewhere else with the adults, not to the children. You know, and then that's a big problem.
And
But
they'll argue sex education. Like, well, you're teaching kids about sex with sex ed and all that shit. That's true.
it's natural.
But that's I was just about to say that it's natural. So they're learning how to procreate. Now, to be fair to people who are born with the multiple body parts and shit, which is a small percentage, I can see where they got an argument of wanting to be inclusive. But just trying to include some biology change or some procedures or talk anything like that that's not natural, I don't think that should be taught because that's some adult shit that an adult need to make that fucking decision on anyway. So you shouldn't even be putting this shit, planting the seed in these kids' head anyway, that early.
And,
I
and
think having a baby at fucking eighth, like that was wrong to me. When we had to go home with the baby, I didn't like that shit. I don't think we should have been going through experiencing what it'd be like to have a baby in high school because that thought shouldn't even popped in our head. Out of sight, out of mind. They should have taught us about protection and contraceptives and all that shit. Yeah, but I feel like the baby was going too far. So I'm just a prude or some
but
shit.
I didn't take it that way. I didn't take it he was attacking gay people. He was just being the baby. He was just being
No, I'm talking about in school when we took the
oh
babies home. Like, remember
oh I
we
thought
had to
you said
take
the
the
baby.
babies home and
Oh
raise the babies in eighth grade or so. I can't remember what grade. Maybe in high school that would have been acceptable.
that was eighth grade that year because we
Yeah,
all that was right when we was all at Hobart. I remember that, but that was good because you're at the age where you start messing around with people. You 13 or 14, that's when kids are curious. That's when they hit puberty and their hormones are raging. So they want you to school. This is what it's gonna be like. If you're gonna do that stuff, this is the result.
and when that shit easy, and because that shit wasn't that hard, motherfuckers be like, damn, it ain't bad to have this motherfucking baby.
You
Like, I don't know. In China, are they taking babies home? Or are they doing fucking
know,
geoengineering and shit and fucking building blueprints for the
them
next skyscraper? I like
kids ain't taking babies home in China. They working and either they working.
that's what my point. Like we just make excuses to be like, well, it's teaching them responsibility, but it's the wrong responsibility. Their brain shouldn't even be thinking about fucking and shit. They should be on some working and learning skills and crafts and
It's
trades.
natural. You can't take natural feelings out of people.
It ain't about natural. It's about conditioned. naturally, yes, you're gonna want to experience your body and sex, but you still can get fucking trained and taught to not indulge in that shit.
Of
We
course.
not we get trained to indulge in it to the point to where we just accept fuck up. So let's teach you how to handle a fuck up if you fuck up and do have a baby. Like other places don't even get to that point. They don't even want you to fuck up. We about to teach you how to not fuck up. Fuck that. What you gonna do after you fuck up shit? Fuck that. You gonna have accountability before that shit. I'm gonna look it up because I may just be saying shit. They might take kids home in
No,
Japan.
I don't. Not over
I
there.
don't think they taking kids
They
home in
training them
fucking
to work.
Japan.
They got full
Not
time.
raising fucking babies, nigga. They got too much fucking homework on fucking real shit. They building robots and fucking making clones and shit already over there. So
Exactly. They ain't got time to do the bullshit we do. That's why they so far advanced than we are. But I want to bring up another point because we was talking about the baby earlier when he made that comment, and I felt like this is kind of the same way with Jess. He made a comment, but he wasn't. I felt like he wasn't directing it towards the LGBTQ community. Just Hilarious responded to a trans lady saying that natural women pretty much don't hold the key to womanhood. So if the natural women don't hold the key to periods and births, who does? That's what they're here for. And see, that's what I'm saying. There's something mentally wrong there.
to me, it takes one, like, you just gotta ask it, like, what does it mean to be a woman? I could ask any human in this world and like they should have one fucking answer, to be
Right.
honest.
Reproduce.
Reproduce.
That's what women are here for.
And I hate to sound shallow as fuck, but that's literally it. That's it.
Yeah.
And with a man is to procreate. That's
Exactly.
why we're so proactive and we like to destroy and build, and that's why women are so loving and they like to build too, but they build societies and homes and kingdoms. We like to go conquer shit. We're proactive. So I mean, it is what it is. That's women reproduce at the end of the day. That's the most powerful thing you could do in this fucking universe is reproduce life.
This
So
whole
I feel them. They're like, yeah, like they want to identify with something like that, but if you don't,
you can't.
if you can't, you can't. So just be who you are. Like you said earlier, just I'm a woman, and you can be a woman, but don't force everybody else to think that shit or feel like they have to bend to your fucking will over that shit because it ain't. That's not facts.
But I told everybody that trans shit was gonna get out of hand once they start going after the women. The women thought it was funny and they supported it, which was fine. And I told y'all, as soon as they start coming over there, what's gonna happen? Y'all gonna be mad when they start trying to be women and trying to compete and be like you and be better than you. It wasn't a problem when they was going in the men's bathroom with the little kids and trying to play sports, and then they start getting into the women's sports, and now they talking about women don't hold the key to womanhood with the peers and having babies, and we equal. Now it's a problem. See, it wasn't a problem. They was fucking with the men. Now it's a problem, and it's too late. And I told y'all that.
Yep.
But we about to get out of here. Leave a comment, share this video. I got the series coming up, part two. R. Kelly fans and hypocrites. Watch part one. Me and Darius did part one already. Watch that. It's on all social media platforms, especially on YouTube. And if y'all want to come on the show, hit us up because we are doing more series of that. And we got some other stuff going. And Darius, tell me where to find you at on YouTube and TikTok.
You can find me on Chef Darius on YouTube and TikTok. Uh, Chef Darius Soul Foods and Art.
Yep. Yep. Shout
Check
out to
me out.
Madman. He'll be back with us. Shout out to Cleveland Showtime Homes. We about to get into some stuff. So y'all be looking out for us. Leave comments, share, like, and subscribe. Appreciate y'all.